We begin the installation by unpacking the RCV Ultimate Axle set. You should find two orange spherical seals, complete short and long side axle assemblies, RCV sticker, RCV grease, and hardware pack. Safely support your Jeep on safety stands or lift. Loosen the lug nuts and remove the wheel and tire assembly. Next, remove the spindle nut using a 36mm socket. Remove the two caliper adapter bolts using a 21mm socket and remove the caliper and adapter together. Support the caliper with a wire or strap to avoid damaging the brake hose. The rotor can then be removed. Loosen and remove the three wheel bearing bolts using a 13mm 12-point socket. Loosen the 5mm Allen head bolt. Remove the ABS sensor before removing the wheel bearing. The wheel bearing generally requires some persuasion to break it loose from the steering knuckle. This can be done by threading in the wheel bearing bolts a few turns and then hitting them from the backside. The wheel bearing and the dust shield are removed next. It is best to have a drain pan handy as some diff fluid can be lost when removing the axle. The original axle can now be removed by pulling it outward through the knuckle. Apply grease to the new axle spline and seal surface. Hold the RCV orange seal in the knuckle as shown. Insert the axle through the knuckle and skewer the boot. Next, place the U-shaped assembly tool against the end of the axle tube. This will keep the boot from sliding back into the tube so you can fully seat the boot on the CV joint. A few solid hits with a soft face hammer will seat the boot. Turn the joint left and right to make sure the boot is fully seated. Generally, it will pop back off if it's not properly seated. Remove the boot assembly tool. Pivot the knuckle back and forth to confirm there is no contact between the seal surface and the knuckle. Install the dust shield and wheel bearing. Next, install the ABS sensor. Tighten the ABS sensor bolt to 34 to 50 inch-pounds. Use the wheel bearing bolts provided in your hardware pack. The flange heads have enough clearance for your new RCV axles. Torque the wheel bearing bolts to 75 foot-pounds. Reinstall the rotor, making sure to remove any grease or oil. Next, install the caliper and adapter. Torque the two bolts to 120 foot-pounds. Be sure to route the ABS sensor wire properly. Reinstall the factory spindle nut. Torque to 100 foot-pounds. Your RCV CV joints come pre-greased. They can be greased using a needle tip grease adapter by inserting it into the Zerk fitting. We recommend 3 to 4 pumps using a manual grease gun every 6 months. Reinstall the wheel and tire assembly. Tighten the lug nuts to 92 to 132 foot-pounds in a crisscross fashion. Top off the differential as required.